Less than 300 years ago, people grew their own food and made their own homes. This all changed in 1750 when Parliament passed the Enclosure Act. I've come to Dartmoor in Devon to learn about a group of people who have rejected modern society. They call themselves the Stewart Woodland Community. Ollie is a member of the group. I asked him what the project is all about.
So it's all about, basically working with nature instead of against it, and trying to be as efficient as possible in all your kind of systems, as in how you get your water, how you get your wood, how you get your food and things like that.
12 adults and 5 children live here in homes made from wood and tarpaulin. I've been told that the group get most of their electricity from solar panels. Seth has £2,000 worth of panels on his roof.
Bought them over time, you can add on to them. At the moment they stand at about £2,000 and they're a half a kilowatt of power. In summer, in winter they hardly do anything, so you need sun to be on them.
Okay.
They only work really very well in direct sunlight, so in England they're not terribly good. But when you've got no power, some's better than none, because we're not completely off the grid here. So in a really good day you can run on half a kilowatt, you can run sandwich toasters, kettles, hoovers, that sort of thing. On a bad day it's just enough for lighting, maybe a couple of hours laptop.
In winter, this stream provides micro-hydro power for the community. It is also pumped into the bathhouse where the group wash their clothes and bathe. This burner is lit once a week for hot showers. The community are aiming for complete self-sufficiency. I asked John how far they have come.
Sufficient in power, we're self-sufficient in sanitation, in housing, in heating. What else? Well, food is, we're a long way off being self-sufficient in food, but we're working on it, and we're developing some raised bed systems down in the growing area and bringing a lot more growing up around our structures, which is a good example of permaculture. So mainly food really is one of our biggest areas we need to work on, and also earning money, being self-sufficient financially. That again, we're stepping that up next year. We've got a lot more courses running next year as our infrastructure now is getting better. Once we've built the workshop and we've got a teaching space and workshop, then things will really kick off up here in running courses, as we will have a really, really good venue. So so mainly earning money and growing food are our two big areas that we're trying to work on next.
The compost loo must be the most interesting facility on the site. Excrement is turned into compost and used on the growing patch. Until this is up and running properly, the group buy their food from local organic companies. This way of life seems very rewarding, but I wondered if anyone ever missed their creature comforts. Mel has lived here for several years now.
There are times, especially I've got 2 small children and another one on the way, and there are times when you think, oh, wouldn't it be easy just to turn on the light and not worry about whether there's electricity, and turn on the gas and cook your dinner really quickly. But I don't know, I don't think I find that very rewarding anymore. And I don't think I could. I think I get bored actually now. And the community is so important here. Having people to go, I think especially it can get quite lonely having small children, and to have other people around, you can always pop round for a cup of tea and say hello, or even if you're just wandering down to the communal area to get some food and you bump into someone, you've had that kind of that input from someone else during the day, which kind of I find really, really valuable and really important, as well as having other women and other mothers around to sort of share some of the stuff that goes on, and just the support of the whole community. So, everything you do just has an effect on the environment, so you have to take every aspect of your life into consideration. And living like this, you can, because you can see the direct result. If you do your washing up or wash your hair or wash your clothes in a non-biodegradable detergent, you're putting it into the ground outside your house straight away afterwards. So you can, the impact's directly there. You can see what's happening, and it helps to make everything a lot more real.
The community do not actually own the land here. It belongs to the national park. They are allowed to live here on the condition that they manage the surrounding woodland. This involves cutting down diseased trees. Living and working together must put strain on relationships. I wondered what happens when people fell out.
Resentments only build up through not talking to people about your situation. So what we do is we pass a stick round, and the person who's got the stick gets to talk about what they want to talk about, and then it goes passed round and round and round and round until it gets back, and everyone sort of generally airs of what they feel what's going. We generally work here. I mean, a lot of communities have troubles and stuff and disagreements, but we talk about it a lot, and it's not too bad here. It's very...
There is no leader in the community, and all decisions are reached through consensus. It has taken 4 years for the group to agree to use chainsaws. Progress is slow here, but the community live fulfilling eco-friendly lives, without bills and without crime. I asked Ollie if he thought there was a future for this type of project.
We've decimated the planet's forests. There's more plankton than there's more plastic than plankton in the oceans. We're acidifying the oceans. We're getting to this real tipping point now, like generally where our culture, or Western culture, Western consumer capitalist culture, is being forced on the rest of the planet through globalisation. Is just it's pushing us to the point where we're not going to have the things we need to survive, which are clean air, clean water, food, healthy food, and a healthy land base. So there's going to be, and who knows what way that could go. It could go catastrophic with people killing each other for, just a bit of water or some baked beans from looting down at Lidl's. Or it could be everyone comes together and actually, which is what I hope will happen and I think is possible. But it's going to be big changes, and we won't be able to live this modern lifestyle this artificial lifestyle that's been created. We will be forced to live a little more like this. Not that that's a bad thing, because this is there's a lot of people I know living out there in modern society that are very depressed and unhappy and feel unfulfilled. And I myself was that. I've only lived outside like this for 3 years now, and before that I'm 29. So all the other years I lived in a town, and I lived in a flat, and I had a computer and I had a television, and I was never happy. I was depressed. I had drug problems. I had alcohol problems. And since I've lived outside, connected with nature again, and lived with real community around me, and realised that we can work together to make a better kind of life for ourselves and with the planet instead of destroying it. So I don't think it's a bad thing that that's going to happen, but it's going to be a big change for people, and a lot of people are in denial that that's going to happen and aren't preparing for it, whereas ourselves here, and it's not about us being better or anything like that, it's just that we are a lot of us are more prepared for it, and we're aware that it's going to happen, whereas a lot of people are in denial that it's even going to happen.
This community is just one of many that are resurging around the UK and Europe. Self-sufficiency is a ticket out of the 9 till 5 rat race. The community here have time to relax and play with their children. They are immune from the ever-increasing costs of living and unemployment. But despite all of these merits, I do not think that many people would be willing to give up their modern lives and creature comforts. I feel that for the time being, the future of such projects is limited.